Hey, what's going on? Coming at you from Chicago, Illinois. And as I was coming up with ideas of like something to talk about, I remember that episode, not that episode, that TV show, American Greed, on CNBC. And there was one particular episode that stood out to me. This young guy who was dating Anne Hathaway, and I just remember that particular episode stood out to me because he he was just so unconscionable the way he defrauded his investors, and he just came across as being so shameless. So that's why I remember that particular episode from the TV show American Greed. So I did some Google searching on him, and I found this article here from dailymail.co.uk, and the title of the article is "I don't blame Anne Hathaway for ditching me overnight. Italian property dealer Raffaello Fiori," I don't know how to pronounce his last name, I'll just stick to his first name. Raffaello reveals how he and Anne Hathaway were inseparable until he was arrested for fraud and she dropped him like a hot brick. A little cold-blooded on Anne's part, and I'll talk about that a little bit towards the end of the video. For those of you guys who don't know who Raffaello is, he's the young guy. A while back ago, he scammed investors out of their money that was meant to be used to buy Roman Catholic churches here in the U.S. And as he was working his way through parties and trying to get investors to invest in his scam, he made up like that he had a phony relationship with the Pope at the time. And one of the people that he ended up scamming was none other than Bill Clinton. And I can't really say I feel too bad for Bill and Hillary, because I mean, how many people have they scammed over the decades? But getting back here to this article, the young couple met back in 2004, and 4 years later, Raffaello was arrested for fraud on June 24th of 2008. He whisked Anne Hathaway around the world on jets and yachts, spending 87,000. I should say, let me start over. He whisked Anne Hathaway around the world on jets and yachts shamelessly. I'm adding the shamelessly. Spending 87,000 for a private plane. 87,000 for a private plane to a New Year's Eve party at fashion designer Oscar de la Renta's house in the Dominican Republic, where Bill and Hillary Clinton were also guests. Was at the party he did his spiel to defraud Bill. I don't know, but both of them are scandalous characters, if you ask me. Going on with the article, there were suites at the Ritz in Paris. I don't know how to pronounce these names. Some fancy hotel in Rome, the Dorchester in London, and God knows how many other swanky hotels when they weren't at his opulent $30,000 a month Manhattan apartment. I mean, holy cow. We're talking back in the early 2000s. So now in 2023, who knows what this apartment would even go for. So it just makes you wonder, like, how could somebody enjoy themselves on their yachts and flying away on these getaway trips and private planes and just doing all these things on other people's money that you defrauded? Like, I couldn't take a trip to Mexico or to Europe and to enjoy myself knowing that I'm using other people's money. It's unconscionable. But anyways, he was living it up all the way up until June 24, 2008, when Raffaello was arrested for fraud. So it just makes you wonder, what was his end game? How long did he think he could keep the charade going? That night, this is what he says. That night, Annie planned. Annie planned. Annie phoned me from Los Angeles, where she was doing press for the movie that she was doing at the time, Get Smart. He says, we were on the phone for 10 minutes talking about when she might come home. If I remember, Annie's last words were, I love you forever, and we ended the call. That was 2 a.m. on June 24th, 2008. At 6 a.m., I was arrested and I never spoke to Annie again. Wow. Since his arrest, he had zero communication from the woman he loved, not even a note of support, as he broke into 1,000 pieces in jail. And you wonder why. I mean, can you imagine going from living in an apartment that you're paying $30,000 a month to your new home, which is a jail cell? It's no wonder why he broke into 1,000 pieces while he was locked up. Raffaello made a deal with prosecutors. Instead of having the case going to trial and facing a possible 160-year sentence, he instead was jailed for 4.5 years. On his release, he was deported to Italy and remains banned from entering the U.S. So, definitely, it seems like a slap on the wrist for the crimes and the shenanigans that he pulled. And then these are just some with some of these online articles. Some people, they can comment, and this is what somebody said. I find it beyond cold, totally insensitive that Anne Hathaway spent 4 years taking this guy's money, jewelry, gifts, and sleeping with him, only to ghost him altogether without ever getting his side to the story or wish him luck in prison during his time in need. I find Hathaway as much of a narcissist as him. And then this one last comment. She had to have known he was doing business around her, especially with his money and age. That something wasn't up and up. Did she return those lavish gifts? Because I doubt it. So this was a unique situation. This guy, he wasn't like a solo single guy who scammed these investors out of their money. Anne was in the relationship at the time, enjoying this money that he took from investors shamelessly. So, and then the fact that she just dropped him cold after he went to jail, like, it makes you wonder, like, did she know that he was pulling this stuff while they were dating, and she just kind of turned a blind eye and just was soaking it up? So, you know, we don't know, but yeah, I do agree with this commentator. She may have been a narcissist, but again, they were both really young at the time this whole thing happened. So I'm going to jump here to the Bible. This is the One Year Study Bible, and with this Bible you can read it from date to date to date. And as I'm filming this, today is March 19th, so I'm just going to read something underneath that date. And this one is from Proverbs 11:18 through 19. It says, evil people get rich for the moment, but the reward of the godly will last. Godly people find life. Evil people find death. So, what can I take away from this information? People might get away with their shenanigans for a time being. They might even go through their whole lives getting away with whatever they get away with. But in the final day of judgment, they're going to have a day of reckoning. We will all have a day of reckoning. That's why it's just so important to work on that relationship with our Creator and to just repent for any wrongdoing that we've done. And hopefully this guy, he has. I read I was just kind of browsing other articles, and in the present time, it says that he's married. He's got 2 kids, a boy and a girl. So hopefully he's repented and you know, expressed a sense of forgiveness for the wrong that he's done. Because I always believe that people can change. So that was today's video. If you guys enjoy this content, please follow me. Please support me. The awesome thing about YouTube is that not only can you guys learn from me, but I can learn from you. If you guys post comments, and we can learn and we can grow together. So that's, you know, this is the really unique privilege of doing these kinds of videos. So that was today's video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.